Yo, what is good, everyone? Today we're gonna go through the final week of, you know, our predictions of the Pro League, but let's get into the recap of what happened last week. Rated R2 out Oxygen eSports, which that means that Oxygen will be relegated with Team Queso to battle it out with the AM Challengers to stay in the Pro League. Then you got Pittsburgh Knights versus Hive. Pittsburgh Knights pretty much slapped them around, I think. Second map. Or both maps. I don't know what it was, but there was a funny meme. And it showed of Inzum saying that they're the best team, yada yada yada. And then they got slapped by one of the top two teams in PK and actually VQ from last season. So it is what it is, but they are still a good team. BQ then beat Elevate, but it was a close series, and there was something with the third map of Foundation, and if you're COG, you don't have to do anything. You just sit there, and on Foundation, it's very hard to break setups on that map. And if it's a stalemate, COG will win eventually if you just sit there and it goes to 250. I don't know what it is, but that's what it does. If it's like a draw for the whole game. Then you have Noble versus United. It was a pretty close series, but Noble took that one. Then you had Ryze versus Team Queso, a free dub for Ryze. Then FNI versus Rebel. Basically, it was a pretty good matchup, but FNI was just dominated. Rebel. Then you had a VQ versus Hive. Same faith, from PK. They're just shutting up Hive because Hive had to open their big mouth, and then they shut them out. Then you had Noble versus Rebel. Close series, but Noble took the dub. Auction Esports beat Team Queso. They are not the worst team in the league, but it doesn't matter. They're both going to be relegated and have to fight for a spot in the league. And you have Hive beating Elevate 2-1 fashion. Pretty much Elevate, shot themselves in the foot because District is pretty similar in that way, and Hive was COG on District, and it's basically Foundation, but a little bit less worse. So they shot themselves in the foot with the map selections, but if Elevate switched up on some maps, maybe they would have had a chance. Maybe if they had like Asylum on the third map, but they didn't. So it is what it is. Ryze versus United. Surprisingly, I thought United was going to win this match because for some reason, mentally, those players on Ryze just lose to United. Or at least I think felt like Fran does. But I guess that mentality of, mentally being not there, as in, funny how it says, mental is not there. The pro player that used to play with explosives, but now he's in COD. So maybe that's why they're winning. And then you got VQ beat it rated R. Surprisingly, it was a 2-1, but they still won. Then you had PK and FNI. It was a crazy matchup, close series, but FNI took that one. That is what it is. It was a great series, though. So we're going to do our predictions here for the last week. I'm going to show you guys each week of what our predictions were. It was 10-3 in week 1, 7-6, not so hot in week 2. Week 3, I was 9-3. Week 4, not as bad as week 2, but not as good as week 3. So let's try to, maybe hit like perfect here. All right. So March 23rd, you got Elevate versus Noble. I could see this going in a 50-50 way. It depends on map selection. I could see any team win. I'm going to go with Noble on this one. So, yeah, hopefully they win. Then you got Auction Esports versus Rebel. Rebel's going to take this dub because, to be honest, Oh, yeah, Oxygen has to play with a coach. GG's, man. No offense to their coach, but he's not as good enough as the caliber players on Rebel. So it is what it is. Then you got Team Queso and E United. Team Queso is a laughing stock, and any team that plays Team Queso is getting a free dub. So E United takes that free dub. Then you got Noble versus Hive. I'm gonna go with Noble. They're getting warmed up. They play a close series with Elevate, and then they beat Hive. It'll be a great series to watch. Then you got VQ versus FNI. That will be an insane matchup to watch. Both of these teams are young and play a lot of wagers and all that. I don't know. That's really hard to really like. That's like a fire matchup. We'll go back to that one. E United beats Rated R. Then you got Ryze versus PK. I'm gonna go with PK because their style, they're just getting better and better. And with that case, since PK about them saying better and better, FNI beat PK, so I'm gonna go with FNI beating VQ. Hopefully they do that. And then the next week we got Noble versus Ryze. I'm gonna go with Noble. They're the homies. But actually, no, I'm not going Noble. For some reason, they lose to Ryze a lot. I'm gonna go Ryze. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. Then you got Elevate versus Team Queso and Rated R. They're gonna take their free dubs of that week. So it is what it is. They're taking those dubs. Then you got Oxygen eSports versus FNI. FNI is gonna take their free dub. And then you got VQ versus Rebel. It'll be a close series, but I think VQ will take that one. Then you got Hive versus Rated R. Hive will take their free dub. And you got E United versus PK. That'll be a crazy matchup, but I think PK will take that one. So, in that case, Elevate would go 2-1 in the league. That would make them go 6-5. That makes sense, right? 2-1. They played 8 games. Yeah, I think it's like 11 games each. Hopefully. And then you got Noble. They have 1, 2, 3 games as well. And I think they would go 1-2. So that'd mean they would go 8-3. 11 games. So it's a total of 11 games. I think Noble will go 8-3. PK, they're 7-2 right now. Who do they lose to? I don't know. It is what it is. So I think PK will go 1, 2. They only have 2 games. So I think they'll go 2-0. They'll go 9-2. 8-3 for Noble. FNI, I think they'll win every game. They have 1, 2 games as well. I think they'll go 2-0. But I don't know. We'll see what the standings will look like. But I know Oxygen eSports and Team Queso, they're definitely going in relegation. These teams will go into the mid-split playoffs. And yeah, that's it. That's my predictions and the recap of the league. I'm rambled a little bit at the end there. Just wanted to see what the standings would look like. Hopefully I go, nearly perfect this week. And yeah, take care.